Hello, everyone.
Hey guys.
Hello.
So now I have the burden of leading this discussion. I just got to relax last week and just throw in a few chats and just kick back and listen.
Time to get back
Hey
to
Stu.
work, Steve.
So our topic tonight is a purity tornado. I think it's a new term. I've not heard anybody else use it.
Pretty.
And
It kind of reminds me of a spiral.
well, yeah. Remember, we had a discussion after our private discussion after our stream last week, and I wanted to do something on purity and how it can be misused or exaggerated. And so, we started talking about the purity spiral, but it's a spiral oftentimes goes down. This is a destructive force. And so it's like a tornado is a spiral. It's a whirlwind. And it's highly destructive and very powerful. So it's similar to a purity spiral, only this introduces the destructive component. And a purity tornado is a move for someone to take the high moral ground in a discussion or debate. It's affiliated with an ad hominem attack. When a person asserts they are more moral than another person, they assume a position of authority. And this renders them able to cast dispersion on the other person. And in this way, the other person's belief, logic, facts, and arguments can just be readily dismissed and declared invalid and immoral. And this comes from experience, but I will say the purity tornado is primarily used by women.
Oh yeah, imagine that.
Now, have you experienced this with a woman when she assumes the high moral ground and dismisses everything you have to say, and then throws you under the bus and claims authority to make decisions and all that? Have you ever experienced that, Nick?
Yeah. Well, I got the text messages for that between the sisterhood where, oh, I grew up in the church. He didn't. Yeah, he's more knowledgeable than me, but he just came along later. I'm more pure than him. I'm more moral because I grew up in church.
Yeah. So if you had a Bible verse that clearly supports your position, it's now immaterial, right? Don't care about facts. Don't care
Nope.
about your beliefs. Don't care about your logic because I have a higher morality than you. Therefore, I'm right.
Supposedly. I
Yeah.
mean, they might not even have
Well,
a higher morality, but they that's the mask
mm,
she wears. That's the
morality is
mask
an
she wears.
abstract. Morality is an abstract term. They, in fact, might be right about certain things, but they, in fact, are not right when they try and use that tactic to gain authority over someone else. Because at that point, they're
Hmm.
not interested in a discussion or to learn.
You see this with a lot of women and even some of the Christ pill guys. Oh, some of those some of those red pill teachings, the applications, the prescriptions are, immoral. Therefore, the red pill's bad. We're going to sit in judgment over the whole thing, but ignore the facts.
Right.
Are you saying that it's easier to destroy something by hiding behind purity than it is to because we're talking it's a tornado, right? And tornadoes are destructive forces. It's easier to uh, hide behind this. It's like,
Even Satan appears as an angel of light.
oh, and, well, yes, but
Just saying.
well, but see that's kind of what I'm getting at is they are doing something destructive. They know it's
Yes.
destructive, so they're hiding behind the purity of it to justify the destruction.
Yes, and there's also a motivation to do this. They lack the knowledge and the logic to have a frank discussion with you, a give and take debate. So, as I said, what do people do in that? It's an ad hominem. So this is a method of doing the ad hominem. Instead of just saying, well, you're just an SOB. It's much powerful. I am a very pure moral person. Therefore, I deem you an SOB.
Yeah. I've heard that before.
Well, that this is the entire woke uh, philosophy. They are more pure, therefore they have the right to tell you you're a evil, horrible person for not being pure with them. Right? Am I wrong? I don't think I'm wrong.
No,
Oh
well,
yeah,
we'll get into
they
that
have their own
at the
specific
end.
purity standards as well.
Oh, did I skip ahead again?
No, that's fine. I'm going to get to that at the end. So, what? Okay, this is nothing new. This has been used against men in the past. Oh, where? Gee, there's nothing new under the sun. So, what I want to do is read through um, this wiki.
Oh,
Okay.
great.
Now, oops, did I just clicked the wrong thing. Okay. Okay, so let
Skipping
me
ahead.
read through this and stop me whenever you want to comment.
All right.
Okay, the Women's Christian Temperance Union is an okay, this was, well, you'll find out, around late 1800s, early 1900s. It's an international temperance organization. It was among the first organizations of women devoted to social reform with a program that linked religious and secular through concerted and far reaching reform strategies based on applied Christianity. It played an influential role in the temperance movement, originating among women in the United States prohibition movement. The organization supported the 18th Amendment, that was the one that prohibited
Prohibition.
alcohol,
Yeah.
and was also influential in social reform issues that came to a prominence in the progressive era. See, it was a progressive era. They were progressive. They wanted to control other people.
Especially men.
The WCTU was organized in 1873 in Hillsboro, Ohio, and started on December 26. Matilda Githruch Carpenter led a successful campaign to close saloons in Washington Courthouse, Ohio, and it declared a national convention in 1874. Oh, and you're going to be amazed at this. It operated at an international level and in the context of religion and reform, including missionary work and women's suffrage. 2 years after its founding, The American WCTU sponsored an international conference at which the International Women's Christian Temperance Union was formed. The world's Women Christian Temperance Union was founded in 1883 and became the international arm of the organization, which has now affiliates in Australia, Canada, Netherlands, Finland, India, Japan, New Zealand, Norway, South Korea, United Kingdom, and United States, among others. Do you notice anything about those countries, Nick?
We're all lib, pretty much.
Okay, well, I'll point it out when we get a little bit further down. The WCTU conducts a white ribbon recruit ceremony in which babies are dedicated to the cause of temperance through a white ribbon being tied to their wrists, with their adult sponsors pledging to help the child live a life free from alcohol and other drugs. Oh, so they involve the
Good luck.
children.
Good luck.
Okay. At its founding in 1874, the stated purpose of the WCTU was to create a sober and pure world by abstinence, purity, and evangelical Christianity. Annie Wittenmeyer was its first president. Oh, what a beauty. Wittenmeyer was conservative in her goals for the movement, focusing only on the question of alcohol consumption and avoiding involvement in politics. The Constitution of the WCTU called for the entire prohibition of the manufacture and sale of intoxicating liquors as a beverage. Okay, so she had a limited scope. Frances Willard. Okay, let's see a picture of her. Oh, she's a very thoughtful woman. Oh, look at what it said. She was a woman suffragist. Okay, yeah.
Notice they
She
both
was
have short hair.
the second WCTU president and objected to this limited focus of social issues WCTU was addressing. Willard believed that it was necessary for the WCTU to be political in women's issues for the success, expansion, and implementation of the WCTU. In 1879, Willard successfully became president of the WCTU until her death in 1898. So, yeah, 19 years. During her presidency, the WCTU grew significantly and established a relationship between temperance and suffrage. Despite advocating
Never
for
enough.
women,
It's never enough, is it?
no, despite advocating for women, WCTU did not challenge gender roles. Rather, they integrated elements of proto-feminism into the organization.
What a
They said
bunch of
early
bullshit.
feminism.
How the hell can you have proto-feminism and not challenge gender roles? What kind of idiot put that shit in this page?
Well, okay, what the hell is proto-feminism anyway? What the?
Okay, the concept that anticipates modern feminism in eras when the feminist concept as such was still unknown. It was prescient, in other words.
This stuff was around even in like the 17th century with the Anabaptists, Quakers, and Antinomians. It's all and Mary Wollstonecraft and the Jacobins in France. It's a bunch of crap. This feminism has been around a long time. It's just gobbledygook. This is an ignorant person putting this shit on whatever Wikipedia.
It's probably accurate, though.
No,
I mean,
it's not. It's
you
not
don't think. Well, they were promoting feminism. Remember, when did feminism start? The Seneca Falls Conference.
No. Actually, it was there beforehand with the Jacobins at the Revolution, at the French Revolutionary War. French Revolution, and it was there with not the Quackers, but the Quakers.
Oh,
Might as well be
okay.
Quakers,
But the point
Anabaptists,
is,
antinomians. Yeah, yeah.
it was first, there was a predecessor to first wave feminism, and this was it. Can we agree on that?
Well, I think they even call first wave feminism proto-feminism, which is really odd because
Okay.
look when it says 1898. When was Seneca Falls?
1846
It's been
or
50 years.
1848.
That's bullshit. And they're
Okay.
already into suffrage. They're already. I mean, it's feminism, guys. It's feminism.
Okay. Its members were inspired by the Greek writer Xenophon, who defined temperance as moderation in all things healthful, total abstinence from all things harmful. In other words, should something be good, it should not be indulged in to excess. Something should be bad. If something should be bad for you, it should be avoided altogether. Thus, their attempts to rid society of what they saw and still see as the dangers of alcohol.
And
The WC,
they're more pure than Jesus.
yeah, the WCTU perceived alcohol as a cause and consequence of larger social problems rather than as a personal weakness or failing. The WCTU also advocated against tobacco. The American
Can't have any fun.
WCTU, right, formed a department for the overthrow of the tobacco habit as early as 1885 and frequently published anti-tobacco articles in the 1880s. Agitation against tobacco continued through to the 1950s. Okay.
Man, they just don't want men to have any fun, do they?
No.
Well, okay. So there's a larger point here that I want. So this was what, 1898.
Yeah.
Notice how they're using the same language that modern leftists use. It's not a personal failing. You were done wrong by society, and that's why you fell into drugs and alcohol. And you see that today with the homeless crisis. The vast majority of the homeless are druggies. Sorry, guys. That's just what it is. But it's they blow enormous sums of money trying to solve the homeless crisis by trying to fix society around these people such that they come back to that they return of their own accord, that if society was just better, they wouldn't feel the need to behave this way.
And Jesus, aren't they supposed to be Christian temperance? Don't they know the Bible where Christ says, "The poor you will always have with you"?
It's not in their Bible. That was taken out.
Okay.
Let's look their policy. Let's continue reading because this one will set Nick off.
Oh, you chose this episode just to set me off, didn't you, Steve?
Yeah, it's my turn.
Why
to
do you
set
think I'm
off.
being quiet? Why do you think I'm being quiet? I'm just gonna let Nick cook.
As a consequence of its stated purpose, the WCTU was also very interested in a number of social reforms, including labor, prostitution, public health, sanitation, and international peace.
Okay, that reminds me. You know about all the beauty pageants? What do all the girls always used to say? It was like a cliche: "World peace."
As the movement grew in numbers and strength, the members of the WCTU also focused on suffrage. The WCTU was instrumental in organizing women suffrage leaders and in helping more women become involved in American politics.
Abomination. The politics.
Local chapters, known as unions, were largely autonomous, though linked to state and national headquarters. Willard pushed for the home protection ballot, arguing that women, being the morally superior sex, needed the vote in order to act as citizen mothers and protect their homes and cure society's ills. at a
Hey,
time.
Steve,
Whoa,
so
what? Dick?
they're morally superior. That means that's because they're like angels, and let alone like there's been how many persons in the womb unalived? What sex did that? It
I
was like,
don't
I don't
know.
know how many millions, 50 million plus, but hey, they're the morally uh 50 million plus. Okay, morally superior. Yeah.
Okay, at a time when the suffragists were viewed as radicals, rightly so, and alienated most American women, the WCTU offered a more traditionally feminine and appropriate organization for women to join.
Sneaky fucker tactics. That's all this is.
Yeah.
This is progressivism doing the speed limit. This is modern day tradcon. Sneaky fucker tactics. Hey, we're 20 minutes in. I can say that.
There you go.
Yeah. Remember, once this gets going, it's like a tornado. It did accomplish prohibition, and it moved women, Christian women, on to accept the need to vote. When really that this was, remember, it was a minority of women that wanted the right to vote or thought it was a good idea. So this supposedly Christian organization was promoting, oh, women need a bigger role so they can, citizen mothers and protect their homes. Isn't that the husband's job?